a lot of fun things are happening. We finally got a tiller for the tractor, and you guys, it's gonna make life so much easier for us. It's gonna be amazing. Over there where May's barking is what's left of our winter garden. I've let it all go to flower in hopes that it would feed some bees before things started blooming around here. Hopefully it's done its job. Wow, guys. It may need to be gone over again, it looks like, once some of this winter rye has died down a little bit more. But it's going to make our life so much easier this year on the tilling. And our garden has definitely already grown. But with having this tiller, May, stop. You've got two balls over there now. I guess she thinks she's a soccer dog. You're so funny. With having this tiller now, we'll be able to put in flower patches, a nice corn patch or two, and a nice pumpkin patch. And he's going to go over and help our beekeeper friend till a spot for his buckwheat for his bees, which we're also talking about putting in for our bees if we end up with some, which looks like a good possibility this year. Did our potato patch with the walk behind tiller, and there is so much grass in here. I'm gonna have to literally come through with my Cobra and try to pull this out. But the good news is the potatoes are coming up. They had minimal damage from the frost we had a couple of nights ago. Hopefully that is our last frost of the year and we have no more to worry about. So this row is all blue potatoes. I have a row of rose colored potatoes and two of cobbler out. We also have Yukon Gold potatoes we plan to plant. They're just doing happy little potato things. Good morning, world. It's going to be a pretty good planting day for us today. We're looking at mid-60s, but it's going to get warmer within the next week. We're looking at, I think, around 80, maybe even 85. So we had a little cold snap, and now we're going to come out of it, and it's time to put... Now we got to find shovels. We've got boys weeding for us. And we're going to mark. Sprinkler. Oh my goodness.
Calm out here. I think I probably ought to move it in more.
Yeah, I think if I get any closer, I'm going to get wet. You didn't move it with it on. I would have turned it off. You know how to get my roses and everything. What?
The cedar.
I got some of you using the cedar. Yes.
Was that me griping?
Probably.
Maybe, probably not. All right.
What do you think, Gabriel?
Here, tell you what you can do. You can take one of those to the end, put one in the middle of the panel, and one where they overlap beside them, like this. Here we go.
I got one.
Okay, you got one.
I could have got two, but...
Yeah, you probably could have got 10. You're awful strong. So our garden has gotten a lot easier this year. a lot more fish and a lot faster. Last year, I found this Earthwave cedar. Bought it used from a fella in off Craigslist. Had never used it until today. It sat in the thing. We forget about it every time. It's pretty simple. Each little plate for different, like that one's for peas, corn. Spins around, gets the spacing correct automatically for each seed.
We hope anyway.
Yeah.
We have to wait till they come up to be sure, but
It looked fairly decent. The plates are real simple. They just go in like this and you spin it. It comes out, slides in those grooves and twists around. It tapers up so that it gets tight. If anybody's ever seeded carrots by hand or
lettuce, which is what I just used.
Or lettuce, and you know how hard it is to get it right and it gets in too thick, this is pretty handy. It also has a row marker. Measure out whatever distance you want to space your row. Turn the wing nut, slide it in or out. As you're going through, the wheel goes, it kind of makes a little bit of a furrow. Finishes cutting the furrow. The chain is supposed to cover up your seeds a little bit, and while you're going down through there, your marker is dragging a line for your next row.
I planted 3 like full rows today. I planted a bunch of beets, a bunch of radish, a bunch of lettuce, some pak choi. Basically from this corner right here all the way to where you see the lettuce, I planted with the cedar in a matter of 30 or 40 minutes.
If that.
If that, including changing the plates
Changing
and everything
plates,
else.
taking
Yeah.
our time, very leisurely day. Now, it requires a
You have to have good,
very
smooth
well
soil.
prepared seed bed. That brings us to this tiller. Oh
Yay.
my goodness. Compared to the walk behind, it pulverizes soil, very well broken up. I mean, so much faster. It's definitely a major advantage. I can see us getting a lot of use out of that.
Oh yeah, we're already talking about food plots and watermelon patches and pumpkin patches and beef,
cover crops
food.
and things for the bees. So, I mean, it's definitely. Normally, I couldn't have gotten all that done in 2 days. I've got it done in half a day, and still had time to go take the dogs for a run, and I'm gonna have time to take the kids for a walk over at a local conservation area. So, definitely a game changer. The right tools for the job. We're gonna drive these T-posts in. We've already got them laid out for the panels, and get it set up ready for tomato trellises. And then we'll do, I don't know how many rows, but that's what
Depends on if I can find my zip ties.
yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Or we have to go get zip ties.
All right. Nope.
To find more metal in the garden. We've tilled areas that we have never tilled before. Our garden has grown a lot this year. And we find all kinds of weird stuff in there.
Like a knife.
Yeah, we did find a knife in there today.
A big knife.
Glass, metal.
Push out. Where's 26 at? Right there? Alright. So this goes.
26 inches.
Alright. Here. Put it on 26. You got it? Is that right?
26
what-
and a...
Right there? That's close enough. We're not building a Swiss watch. One of these short post drivers from Roking, they don't have very much weight and they're too short. You go to take a big stroke once the post is driven into the ground a little bit, especially if you're using a shorter post or driving a ground rod like I do with the electric fence. I was driving a ground rod with the electric fence and came up above, off, not paying attention, and came straight down and
Ooh, he's
smacked
got
my
a-
shin. Like,
3 weeks ago. And it's still got a big old knot there. Yeah.
Still extremely sore.
Yeah.
Probably did some permanent damage to it.
Yeah.
But
Goodness. The problem is that not all people have the ability to pull up a post driver like that, so that's why they make the smaller ones.
they're cheaper,
Yes,
and they're made for your average homeowner.
it's made for people like me.
So I'm on the verge of getting some pipe and welding up a post driver about this long, maybe taking one of the mauls or an axe head where the handle's broke. Anymore, it's cheaper to buy a new maul, or just a couple dollars more to buy a new one than it is to replace the handle. So maybe weld that onto the top so there's some extra weight, so when you drive it, it goes in the ground a little deeper. And either give this away or save it for people like her. I don't know if you saw it last year or not, but when you put cattle panels up for the fence posts, I always like to put them up off the ground because you'll need more height for the tomatoes than you will closer to the ground than like for starting peas or things. We use zip ties because they only have to stay up for a temporary amount of time. They go on quick and they come off real easy at the end of the year when we're taking everything down. Oh. Put a couple on to hold it up, and I'll go back there and put a few more on.
So Matt's on the phone talking about a little farm addition that's going to go right in this area right here that we're pretty excited about. We're going to surprise you with it. It's going to be awesome, guys. Instead, it has been a very wet past few days, and I have plants all over the place I've been trying to put in the ground. They are like knocked over and drowning from the storms, but we have a lot to show you, a whole lot for our garden tour. Let's go. Matt mowed right here yesterday. It's kind of hard to see, but there are actually flowers planted all the way on this edge. The mulch has gotten covered up with grass. I got roses all through there. And this here is beans. I don't know, can you guys see? They're just starting to come up. We did just fertilize this with some rabbit poop. But they are just coming up, and we seeded this with the earthworm seeder, guys. It took to do all these beans between the string and where these first row plants start. So it means like, what? There's 5 rows of beans there. Plus another 3 rows of things. It took 2 hours, guys. 2 hours. Normally, to hand seed the things that I seeded, it would have taken us probably 2 days. So this is an incredible improvement. It definitely makes it so much easier to garden and to farm and to produce food. The potatoes have grass growing up in them and are ready to be hilled. I currently have 3 varieties out here. Garlic is doing well. There's, of course, I've mentioned before, not as much as we usually plant, but we started with some new seed. Strawberries are starting to come on. You can see some right there. We actually have more strawberries to plant. I really didn't want them here though, so I'm not sure where they're going just yet. The end of this section and over here was cover crop and a few other things, some flowers and whatnot, so it's kind of just a mess right now. It needs cleaned up, and we may have to hand till it with the rototiller because the tractor tiller is 6 feet wide and won't fit through here. So, solo cups in the garden to catch the huge influx of flea beetles that I have. They are taking over my garden. This first row is the worst row. The lettuce seems to be, hi Egg. Lettuce seems to, get off the garden, get off the garden, get off, get off. The lettuce seems to be untouched for the most part, but the brassicas, the tatsoi, bok choy, arugula, all that seems to be a magnet for it. Of course, radishes. See, here's some right here. If you can see those or not, but they're there on the top of that leaf. All right. Yep, there went one. There's one there. Stupid flea beetles. So I'm hoping to catch them on some of these solo cups. I had seen it before because it's been raining. I haven't been able to put neem oil out here. Look, guys, there's actually one on the cup. Ah! I hope this works. So the solo cups are covered in Vaseline. I don't normally have Vaseline. I had to go buy Vaseline today. But this is beets, radishes, and red onions. The red onions are just starting to spring back to life. And the beets and radishes seem to be coming along. I got a couple of radishes through here that look like they're about ready to harvest. Actually, I've got one split in there. So I'll have to pull some of these. And then spinach, which is trying to bolt on me. It's not big enough for that yet. Spinach, carrots, and then on that edge is all Swiss chard, which is pretty and colorful and yummy. So still waiting on those things to get a little bigger. I'll probably harvest some of the spinach. And then down here is where the purple ladybug choy and the arugula is. There's some carrots in there too, but you can't really see them right now. And this is where I have the most flea beetles. I mean, they're all over. See them right there? I'm gonna squish them if I can. So, I'm getting this all over me and I really don't want to touch my camera with it. So anyway, the point being, try to catch some of them. I'm going to go ahead and go through here with the neem oil. It is going to rain more, but I think I've got about 5 or 6 hours that hopefully can do some good and get rid of some of them. So over here, this chickweed infested bed was anemone and ranunculus. They are done. I've got some pretty bachelor's buttons over here. Oh, some of them fell down. And then I had some early crops planted here. The weeds sort of took over on most of it. So I need to get all that out of there. Kale at the end. Kales, lots of kales and lettuce. And tatsoi, bok choy, pak choy, and some weeding that needs done badly. Peas on the edges of both this row here and this row over here. And there's a big mud puddle here that I'm afraid I'm going to fall in, so I'm not going to walk through there. Water's gathered. Let me try this one. And not fall, hopefully. It's very slick. Alright, so the celery has really sprung up. It's very pretty. This is the pink celery, and there's also Utah celery up there. We'll see how big it gets. Celery prefers cooler weather, and it's starting to get warm, so we may not get much harvest off of it, but we'll definitely try again in the fall. I'm still mastering that. I've only had a couple years of celery growing experience. And this kale is getting quite lovely. I'm going to start harvesting. Actually, I harvested some for lunch today. It's getting very big. But flea beetles. Ugh, they're awful. Red cabbage. Cauliflower. More kale. With a little bit of stuff in between. There's some yellow onions up under here. And some weeding that needs done. The rain just made everything go crazy. But if I don't get out here now, I may not be able to for the next couple of days because of the rain. This is white and purple kohlrabi and black-seeded Simpson lettuce. And there's Matt. He's finding... Are you finding weeds or flea beetles? Weeds. Fun times. And then lettuce. and peas, and there's some flowers tucked in here. And then I've got a row of beets here. It's 3 rows of beets in one planting bed. Some radish and pak choy in one planting bed here. And then pak choy and lettuce in this last planting bed. The lettuce and the radishes are starting to come up. They're kind of difficult to see, but we used the seeder and it worked. We planted out tomatoes, 36 of them. Some of them aren't doing too hot. Some of them are quite happy. We got some that are falling over. And then we have room for more tomatoes here. We planted out peppers, eggplant, and then Matt wants to put more tomatoes here. And we have summer squash, cucumbers, melon. Over here will be corn. So as you can see, we love the tiller. There's been lots of tilling going on. Made things really easy. We put in a couple flower beds. I planted almost all of my dahlias. Eggplant, tomatillo, just a couple. I have some more started. There's lots of different kinds of peppers. They are newly transplanted just a couple days ago. So they are falling over. I'll have to come out here maybe and work on them, especially the ones in the middle. They're really falling over. Everything else, I mean, the rain is good, but I don't want it to drown. Hopefully the rain slows down a little bit. That's how our garden's doing. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with us and checking out Matt's beehive, seeing what all we have going on, and we hope to catch you next time. Have a blessed and beautiful week.